In the heart of a wide and dusty land, where the sun rises bright and the winds carry the whispers of old stories, lies the small village of Ngoma. It is a place not found on most maps, but to those who live there, it is the whole world. Village is surrounded by tall grass, baobab trees with thick trunks that look like giants holding the sky, and red earth that warms the feet of everyone who walks on it. The people of Ngoma live simply, close to nature and each other. Every day, they wake with the sound of roosters crowing, women singing while they work, and children playing under the bright blue sky. Life here is slow but full of meaning. Families gather under the shade of trees, sharing meals, stories, and laughter that echoes long into the evening. It is here, in this peaceful village, that 12-year-old Amina lives with her family. Amina is a quiet girl with deep brown eyes that seem to hold more wisdom than her young age. She watches the world carefully, noticing the small things others miss, the way the wind moves the grass, the songs birds sing, and the look in her grandmother's eyes when she stares at the moon. Amina's grandmother, Mama Kadi, is a woman of 70 years, with silver hair that falls gently on her shoulders and a voice that is soft but strong. Everyone in Ngoma respects Mama Kadi, for she is the keeper of the village's stories and secrets. Every evening, she sits under the oldest baobab tree, her skin warm from the sun, and tells stories that have been passed down through many generations. These stories are not just for entertainment. They carry lessons about life, courage, and the spirit world. When Mama Kadi speaks, she pauses often, as if feeling the presence of ancestors around her, and her voice slows to let the weight of her words settle in the hearts of her listeners. The baobab tree under which she tells these stories is as old as time itself, with roots that twist deep into the earth and branches that spread wide like protective arms. This tree is a symbol of strength and life for the villagers, and it is said that during the Baobab moon, the rare full moon that shines brightest in the sky once every year, the tree holds a special power. The Baobab moon is a time when the invisible world becomes close, and secrets that have been hidden come to light. Though Amina enjoys playing with her sister Fanta, who is 16 and always teasing her, and helping her mother Sidi with daily chores, she feels a quiet pull toward the stories her grandmother tells. There is a mystery in those stories, a secret waiting to be understood. Mama Kadi often looks at the Baobab moon with a sadness in her eyes, and when Amina asks about it, her grandmother only smiles softly and says, "Some secrets are only for those who are ready, my child." This makes Amina even more curious. At night, when the village sleeps and the stars shine like tiny lanterns in the sky, Amina lies awake thinking about the secret behind the Baobab moon. She wonders what it might mean for her family, and for the whole village. She feels as if the secret is like a small seed planted in her heart, waiting to grow. One late afternoon, as the sun began to set and painted the sky with colors of orange, pink, and purple, Amina sat close to her grandmother under the big baobab tree. The air was cool, and the soft sound of the wind made the leaves dance gently. The tree's bark was rough under their hands, reminding them of the many years it had watched over their village. Mama Kadi took Amina's small hands in hers and looked into her eyes. Her voice was calm, but filled with feeling as she began to tell the story of the Baobab moon's secret. She spoke about a time long ago when the village faced a great drought. The rivers ran dry, the crops failed, and the people feared the earth would turn to dust forever. It was a dark time, and many lost hope. During this hardship, Amina's great-grandmother Nana Mariama was chosen by the spirits of the village to discover a secret that could save their people. This secret was hidden deep within the roots of the baobab tree, and it could only be found and used by the women of the family during the light of the baobab moon. Mama Kadi's voice grew soft, almost a whisper, as she explained that the secret was more than just about water or food. It was about a powerful connection between the people, the earth, and the spirits that watch over them. Nana Mariama had to choose whether to keep this secret safe and protect the village's balance, or to share it beyond the village, risking the peace they had. The decision was heavy, full of danger and hope. The women of the family have carried this secret carefully ever since, passing it from mother to daughter like a sacred gift and a great responsibility. It is said that those chosen to know the secret must be brave and wise, able to understand both the light and the darkness inside themselves. The Baobab moon is the time when this secret is tested and renewed, ensuring the village's survival and harmony. As Mama Kadi spoke, Amina could feel the weight of the story settling deep inside her chest. She understood this was not just a story of the past, it was alive and real, shaping who they were now. Amina looked up at the sky, where the first stars began to twinkle. She thought about the secret and the Baobab moon, feeling both fear and pride. She knew that one day, she might be the one called to carry this secret, to face the Baobab moon and protect her village like her great-grandmother did. For now, she held her grandmother's hands tightly, feeling the warmth and strength flowing from her. She promised herself to honor the secret and be ready when the time came. The village of Ngoma might be small and hidden, but its heart beats strong with stories of courage, love, and the deep, unbroken bond between the people and the earth beneath their feet. And beneath the glowing light of the Baobab moon, Amina's journey was just beginning. The night of the Baobab moon came quietly to the village of Ngoma, wrapped in a cool breeze and the soft sounds of night animals. The full moon shone so brightly that it painted the red earth silver and made the Baobab tree's shadows dance like spirits around its wide trunk. This was the most important night of the year, the night when the secret of the Baobab moon was meant to be remembered and tested. Amina sat beside her grandmother, feeling the weight of the story she had heard just days before resting heavily on her heart. The village had gathered in the clearing under the great tree, women wearing bright cloths and beads, their faces serious but glowing in the moonlight. This was no ordinary celebration. It was a time when the past and present met, and when the chosen women would show their strength and courage. Mama Kadi whispered to Amina, "Tonight, you will see why the secret must be kept safe. It is not easy, child, but it is sacred." Amina's heart raced as she looked at the women gathered around, some older, some young like her sister Fanta, all holding small fire torches. There was a strange silence in the air, a feeling like the earth itself was holding its breath. Then, one by one, the women stepped forward to touch the Baobab tree's bark, each placing their hand on its rough surface and closing their eyes. The air grew thick with a strange energy, and Amina felt a shiver run down her spine. Her grandmother's eyes shone with a mixture of pride and sadness as she watched the ritual. "This is how the secret lives," Mama Kadi said softly. "Through these women, through their hearts." As the night deepened, a story was told by one of the elder women, Mariam, who was known for her deep voice that could make the wind stop to listen. She told of a time when a stranger came to the village, a man who seemed kind but carried a hidden hunger for power. He had heard of the Baobab moon's secret and wanted to steal it for himself. The village was young then, and the deep Aiji people were not ready to protect the secret. Nana Mariama, Amina's great-grandmother, faced the stranger alone, knowing that the fate of Ngoma rested on her courage. Mariam's voice lowered to a whisper as she described the night when Nana Mariama led the stranger to the Baobab tree, under the bright Baobab moon, and revealed the truth that no outsider was meant to see. The stranger's eyes grew wide with greed and anger. But before he could take the secret, the spirits of the ancestors rose from the tree's roots in a soft, glowing light that scared him away forever. The village was safe, but the secret became heavier, more precious, and the women were made its guardians. Amina's mind swirled with questions and wonder. She looked at the faces around her, knowing that some of these women were the granddaughters and daughters of those who had witnessed that night. She felt the power of the secret pulsing through the village like a hidden river flowing beneath the surface of everyday life. The Baobab moon was not just a story. It was real, alive, and full of dangers and beauty. Her grandmother's hand tightened around hers, and Amina knew the time to learn more was close. Suddenly, a soft sound broke the quiet. The low cry of a child, far off in the village. Heads turned, eyes searching the shadows. "It is the sign," Mama Kadi whispered. "The secret calls us to protect it now." The women rose quickly, their faces serious, and Amina felt a thrill of fear and excitement. The group moved slowly toward the edge of the village, where the trees grew thick and the night was darkest. The moonlight barely touched the ground here, and shadows seemed to move like living things. Mama Kadi told Amina to stay close, but even with her grandmother beside her, Amina's heart pounded. What danger had come to their peaceful village? Was it the stranger returning? Or something, older and more mysterious? As they reached a small clearing, a shape appeared. A young woman, no older than 20, standing trembling and alone. Her name was Layla, and she was a cousin of Amina's family, known for her kindness and quiet strength. But tonight, Layla's eyes were wild with fear. "They have taken my little brother," she whispered. "The river spirits. They demand a price." The village had always believed that the rivers and forests held spirits that watched over them. Sometimes these spirits asked for respect and gifts, but rarely did they take a child. The news sent a cold wave through the crowd. The Baobab moon was not only a time of celebration, it was a time of danger. Mama Kadi looked at the women gathered and said, "The secret must help us now. Only through its power can we find the boy and keep the balance." Amina felt the weight of the moment settle deeper. The secret she barely understood was alive and calling for action. The women began to chant softly, their voices rising and falling like the wind through the tall grass. The baobab tree seemed to pulse with light as the moon reached its highest point. Amina closed her eyes and tried to listen with her heart. Suddenly, she felt a warm, gentle presence around her, as if the spirits of her ancestors were near, guiding her steps. She opened her eyes and saw a small, glowing path of light stretching from the baobab tree into the dark forest. The women followed, their feet quiet on the soft earth. The journey was slow and filled with silence, broken only by the whispers of the women and the soft crackle of fire torches. Amina's fear grew, but so did her courage. She realized that this secret was not just about stories or magic. It was about protecting the people she loved. As they walked deeper into the forest, the path of light grew brighter, but the shadows around them seemed to reach out, hiding unknown dangers. Suddenly, from the darkness came a soft, haunting melody, an old song of the river spirits, both beautiful and terrifying. The women stopped, holding their breath. Layla stepped forward, singing back the song in a voice trembling with hope and fear. The air grew thick with power, and for a moment, Amina felt the world change around her. The secret of the Baobab moon was alive, powerful, and very real. At last, they reached a small river, where the water shone silver in the moonlight. There, near the riverbank, lay a small bundle, the missing boy, safe but asleep. The river spirits had returned him, but only after reminding the village of their promise to respect the earth and its gifts. Mama Kadi smiled softly, tears shining in her eyes. "The secret lives," she said. "It is not only in stories, but in our hearts, in our courage, and in our love for each other." Amina looked at her grandmother and felt a deep pride and a quiet promise. One day, the Baobab moon would call her too, and she would be ready. Until then, she would carry the secret in her heart, guarding it with all her strength. After the river spirits returned the lost boy safely, the village of Ngoma breathed a quiet sigh of relief. but the night was far from over. The Baobab moon still shone brightly above, casting long shadows that flickered and moved as if they were alive. Amina felt a strange mix of calm and unease deep inside her chest. The secret her grandmother had spoken of was no longer just a story told beneath the tree. It had become a living part of her world, something she could almost touch. But as the villagers began to return to their homes, a new tension settled over the night air, as if something unseen was watching and waiting. Amina stayed close to Mama Kadi, her small hand wrapped tightly around her grandmother's weathered fingers. The other women gathered near the baobab tree, their faces serious and thoughtful. Mama Kadi spoke softly, her voice carrying both pride and caution. "Tonight, the secret has spoken clearly," she said. "But it also warns us. The balance is fragile, and there are those who do not respect it." The villagers nodded in understanding. The stranger who had once tried to steal the secret was not the only danger. The secret itself carried power, and power always attracted those who would use it for their own gain. Amina's heart pounded as she realized the true weight of the responsibility that had been passed down to her family. Suddenly, a soft rustling came from the edge of the clearing. Everyone turned, eyes wide with surprise and fear. From the shadows stepped a man, tall and cloaked in dark cloth, his face hidden beneath a hood. He moved with slow, careful steps, as if he was testing the ground. Mama Kadi's voice hardened as she said, "Who are you? And why do you come here on this sacred night?" The man stopped and pulled back his hood, revealing sharp eyes that seemed to glow with a strange light. "I have come for the secret," he said quietly. "To claim what is rightfully mine." The villagers gasped, and Amina felt a cold chill run through her body. This was the danger they had feared, but he had returned, stronger and more determined than ever. Mama Kadi stood tall and faced the stranger without fear. "The secret is not yours to take," she said firmly. "It belongs to the women of Ngoma, passed down with love and sacrifice. It protects our village, our families, and the balance of life." The man smiled, a cold and cruel smile. "Love and sacrifice mean nothing to me. I seek power, and I will have it." Amina watched as her grandmother's eyes flashed with both sadness and fierce determination. She realized then that the secret was more than a family story. It was a test of courage and trust, one that her grandmother had passed with strength, and one that Amina would soon have to face herself. The man took a step forward, and the ground seemed to tremble beneath his feet. The women formed a circle around the baobab tree, joining hands and beginning a soft chant, the air filled with a low hum, growing louder and stronger. Amina felt her heart beating faster, her breath coming short. The baobab tree glowed faintly, its bark shining like silver under the moonlight. The stranger's face twisted with anger as the light grew brighter, pushing him back. "You cannot stop me," he shouted. But the power of the secret was stronger. The women's voices rose in unison, and the light became a shield that protected the village. Suddenly, a voice called out from the darkness. It was Layla, the young woman whose brother had been taken by the river spirits. "There is another way," she cried. "The secret is not just power, it is connection. We must open our hearts, not close them." The stranger hesitated, and in that moment, Amina stepped forward, her voice trembling but clear. "Please, stop this fight. The secret is not meant for hate or fear. It is meant to bring us together." The village fell silent, all eyes on the young girl who had spoken with the courage of someone much older. Mama Kadi smiled softly, proud of Amina's bravery. The stranger looked at Amina, then at the glowing baobab tree. Slowly, his anger faded, replaced by something else. Regret. "Perhaps I have been wrong," he said quietly. "Perhaps I have forgotten the true meaning of the secret." The women lowered their hands, and the light from the tree softened. The man stepped back into the shadows, disappearing as quietly as he had come. The village was safe once more, but the night had changed everything. Amina knew that the secret of the Baobab moon was not just about magic or power. It was about understanding, forgiveness, and the strength of community. As the moon began to fade and the first light of dawn touched the sky, the villagers gathered once more under the Baobab tree. Mama Kadi placed her hands on Amina's shoulders and said, "You have shown great courage tonight, my child. The secret is now part of you, and one day you will carry it forward." Amina felt a deep warmth fill her heart, knowing that she was ready to face whatever the future held. The Baobab moon had revealed its secret to her, and she was no longer just a girl in a small village. She was a guardian of something ancient and powerful, a keeper of stories and hope. The dawn light crept softly over the village of Ngoma, casting gentle gold across the red earth. The villagers gathered quietly beneath the Baobab tree, their faces tired but full of hope. The night's events had changed everything. Minat stood beside her grandmother, Mama Kadi, feeling the secret of the Baobab moon beating strong inside her heart. But as the sun rose higher, a new silence fell. A silence that spoke of mysteries still waiting to be uncovered. The secret was not yet finished with them. After the stranger disappeared into the shadows the night before, the village believed the danger was gone, but Mama Kadi's eyes were sharp and knowing. "The secret is alive," she said, her voice low but firm. "It moves like the wind. We must be careful, Amina. The Baobab moon reveals more than power. It reveals truth." Amina looked up at the great tree, its wide branches reaching to the sky like open arms. She felt both small and strong, like a leaf on a mighty tree, ready to grow and face the storms ahead. As the villagers began to return to their homes, a sudden cry shattered the morning calm. Amina's heart stopped. It was Fanta, her sister, calling out from the far edge of the village. Rushing toward the sound, Amina found Fanta standing by the old well, her face pale and eyes wide with fear. "Amina," she whispered, "there is something wrong. The water is disappearing." The well was the village's lifeline. Without its clear, cool water, the people could not survive the coming dry season. Amina felt a cold fear grip her chest. Could the secret be failing them? Was the balance broken? Mama Kadi hurried over, her face serious. "The spirits are restless," she said. "The secret must be honored with respect, but there are those who have forgotten this." The villagers gathered quickly, watching as the well's water level dropped lower and lower until it was nothing but cracked earth. Amina's mind raced. The stranger had spoken of power and selfishness. Had someone in the village forgotten the promise to protect the secret? Or was something else at work? The Baobab moon had always been a time of light, but now it seemed to cast shadows darker than night. As the sun climbed higher, Amina felt a strange pull back to the Baobab tree. Alone, she walked slowly beneath its heavy branches, feeling the rough bark under her fingers. The wind whispered through the leaves like voices calling her name. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared near the roots, a faint, warm light that pulsed, like a heartbeat. Amina knelt down and saw something unexpected, a small carved wooden box hidden beneath the roots. Her hands trembled as she opened it, revealing a folded cloth and a simple necklace made of beads and small bones. Alongside them was a note, written in her great-grandmother Nana Mariama's careful hand. It read, "To the one who carries the secret, the balance must be kept with both courage and kindness. The power you guard is not in the moon or the tree, but in the love you share and the trust you hold. Beware those who seek only power for themselves, for the greatest danger comes from within." Amina's eyes filled with tears. She understood now that the secret was not just about magic or rituals. It was about the heart of the village and its people. The stranger had returned, But perhaps the greatest threat was not him. It was the fear, the anger, and the selfishness that could grow in anyone if they lost sight of what truly mattered. Suddenly, footsteps approached. Amina turned quickly to see her sister Fanta standing there, her expression troubled. "Amina," she said quietly, "I need to tell you something. Last night, before the stranger came, I heard voices by the well, voices planning to take the secret for themselves." Amina's breath caught. "Who?" she asked. Fanta hesitated. "It's someone we know, someone trusted." The weight of the secret grew heavier than ever. The two sisters returned to the village together, their minds full of questions. They found Mama Kadi waiting, her face both proud and grave. "The Baobab moon tests us all," she said. "It shows us not only who we are, but who we can become. The true power is in unity, and the true danger lies in division." Amina knew the journey ahead would be difficult. She must learn to trust, to forgive, and to stand strong against both outside threats and the shadows that lived inside hearts. Days passed, and slowly the village came together. The well's water returned, the earth seemed to breathe again, and the baobab tree stood tall and proud. Amina was no longer just a child watching from the sidelines. She was a guardian, a keeper of the secret and the village's hope. The Baobab moon had given her a gift greater than magic or power. It had given her the courage to face the unknown and the wisdom to understand that the greatest secrets are those of love, trust, and the strength found in community. As the next Baobab moon rose high in the sky, Amina stood once more beneath the ancient tree, feeling the pulse of her ancestors in the earth beneath her feet. The secret was alive, yes, but it was not just hers to carry. It belonged to everyone who chose to protect it with open hearts. And in that moment, she understood the true meaning of the Baobab moon's light. It was a beacon of hope, shining in the darkest nights, guiding her and her village toward a future filled with courage, unity, and love.